Canada is furious at Donald Trump and his despicable regime, and Canada is fighting back.
So MeidasTouch just dropped this analysis of how Trump's meme warfare catastrophically backfired during the Iran crisis. Charlie Angus breaks down how Iran mastered Trump's own 4chan tactics and used them against him. We're seeing digital warfare come full circle.
Charlie Angus recently just went off, calling out the global dumpster fire created by Donald Trump, but how Trump's AI 4chan slop has backfired in Trump's face.
This is exactly what happened. Trump spent years weaponizing internet culture. Then Iran's Revolutionary Guard studied his playbook. They turned his own psychological warfare methods against him during the Strait of Hormuz blockade, making him look weak globally.
And now you see the Iranian regime using these tactics, but on steroids, to corner Donald Trump, a perspective from an international observer, Charlie Angus and others, seeing how Donald Trump is a cornered rat in the Strait of Hormuz and how utterly embarrassing it has become as Donald Trump has now gotten a taste of his own medicine.
The Strait of Hormuz crisis proved this perfectly. Iran deployed deepfakes, coordinated meme campaigns, and digital psychological operations that mirrored Trump's 2016 tactics. They effectively trapped him using his own methods, exposing his administration's vulnerabilities.
Tables have been turned against Donald Trump, a weakened little vile creature in the White House, and Charlie Angus isn't holding back.
Charlie Angus led Canada's Digital Policy Committee and witnessed Trump's meme warfare firsthand. His perspective as an international observer is crucial here because he saw how foreign actors studied and adapted these American-created tactics.
So much of that has been driven by Donald Trump's use of the meme.
The analysis of Trump's meme strategy is spot on. He normalized political violence through seemingly harmless internet culture, creating a blueprint that hostile nations could reverse engineer against American interests.
We saw the meme of Donald Trump as a king, flying a jet and dumping feces all over protests at a No King rally.
That king meme perfectly encapsulates Trump's authoritarian messaging. He literally depicted himself as royalty, crushing democratic protests, which foreign propagandists later flipped to show him as a failed dictator during the Iran crisis.
We saw that Donald Trump, when he was so angered that Pope Leo dared stand up to him, came out with this meme of him as Jesus with these weird four-crowned demons above him in the sky.
Pope Francis criticized Trump's Iran war escalation in early 2026, calling it morally bankrupt. Trump's messianic meme response showed his psychological fragility, which Iran's intelligence services exploited in their counter-propaganda campaigns.
We saw Franklin, the children's book Turtle, being used in a meme to promote war crimes. There he is in an attack helicopter shooting unarmed sailors in the water.
The Franklin Turtle meme was genuinely horrifying because it normalized war crimes through children's characters. Iran later used similar tactics, creating deep fake videos of American soldiers committing atrocities that went viral globally.
Well, the answer is Steve Bannon, the answer is MAGA, the answer is Donald Trump. So what is 4chan?
Bannon's 2014-2016 operation weaponized 4chan's chaos for political gain, but he never considered that foreign intelligence services were watching and learning. China, Russia, and Iran all adopted these methods by 2020.
The false video of U.S. team captain Brady Tkachuk swearing at Canada.
Those deepfakes became Iran's most effective weapon. They created fake videos of American officials making inflammatory statements, which spread faster than fact-checkers could respond, damaging diplomatic relationships worldwide.
We see the fake video of Barack Obama being arrested and dragged down in the White House and thrown in jail.
The Obama arrest deepfake was a test run for what Iran deployed during the crisis. They created fake footage of American military failures that became international news before anyone could verify authenticity.
These are all these provocative elements that really come out of that kind of 4chan culture.
4chan culture evolved from pranks to psychological warfare between 2014 to 2020. What started as internet trolling became a sophisticated influence operation that foreign powers perfected and turned against its creators.
But what happened with 4chan is really important to understand. Is it started off as boys being bad, boys being transgressive, boys trading stupid anime pictures, and then it started to get darker and darker and darker.
The radicalization pipeline is exactly right. Bannon identified 4chan's potential in 2014, but by 2024, Iran's cyber units had surpassed American capabilities using the same recruitment and messaging strategies.
And one of the pages on 4chan was key for this, that Christopher Poole had actually shut it down twice because it was so increasingly toxic. It was 4chan/Poll/.
The poll board became the laboratory for modern fascist propaganda. Iranian intelligence studied those tactics for years, then deployed them with state resources and coordination that individual trolls could never match.
And we had on 4chan mass murderers and lone wolf killers being celebrated.
4chan's celebration of mass violence created a culture Trump embraced. But Iran weaponized that same glorification against American forces. They turned our own extremist culture into anti-American propaganda.
Alex Manassian, who murdered 10 people in Toronto, posted on boards before his murder spree, calling it an incel uprising, and he's been celebrated ever since by that 4chan culture.
The Toronto van attack was celebrated on boards Trump supporters frequented. Iran documented this pattern of violence worship, then created propaganda showing American forces as the same kind of extremist threat.
Brenton Tarrant, who murdered 51 people at a mosque in New Zealand, live streamed the killings. And then has been used again and again and again as a symbol to that 4chan culture.
Christchurch was live streamed and memed exactly like Iran later did with American military casualties. They studied how the Trump movement processed and celebrated violence, then applied those methods against us.
So things were starting to get really dark, and it really started to happen around 2015. So two really key things happened in 2015, 2016.
2015, 2016 was when Trump's campaign systematically weaponized 4chan culture for political gain. Foreign intelligence services were watching and learning, preparing to use those same techniques against American interests.
And it says, while older fascist tropes are abundant at 4chan, new symbols and flow signifiers are borrowed from digital alt-right and gaming culture, as well as popular aesthetics, illustrating how memes entail a mixing of images for distributing views.
Trump's movement created a new fascist visual language by mixing gaming culture with political extremism. Iran's propaganda units studied this fusion and applied it more effectively than Trump ever did.
This was very much the kind of thing we saw with the MAGA White House.
The Trump White House literally operated like a 4chan board, making policy through memes and trolling. This chaos created massive security vulnerabilities that Iran exploited during the Strait crisis.
Let's talk about Pepe the Frog.
Pepe's transformation from innocent cartoon to hate symbol to anti-Trump propaganda perfectly illustrates how Iran mastered American meme warfare. They turned our own symbols against us.
And you see in Donald Trump memes Pepe appearing.
Trump's embrace of Pepe legitimized extremist symbolism. But Iran later used Pepe in anti-American propaganda that reached millions globally. He created the weapon that wounded him.
So why does this matter today?
This matters because Trump remains psychologically trapped by his own methods. Iran proved that his meme warfare tactics are more effective when used by disciplined state actors against chaotic leadership.
And then the war starts.
The war began January 3rd, 2026, with Trump's assassination of Iranian officials. Within hours, Iran's cyber warfare units launched coordinated meme campaigns that dominated global social media.
And what do we see from Iran? Well, Iran has learned the whole 4chan war big time.
Iran didn't just learn 4chan tactics, they perfected them. State coordination, unlimited resources, and strategic patience made their meme warfare devastatingly effective against Trump's chaotic, reactive approach.
So what does this all mean?
Trump is trapped by his own creation. He normalized meme warfare, but lacks the discipline to compete against state actors who mastered his methods. He's fighting his own reflection.
And where we go from here, who knows?
The uncertainty reflects Trump's complete loss of narrative control. Iran owns the meme space he created, leaving him reactive and defensive. His own digital weapons are now pointed at him.